Hello everyone, here are the latest market news on April the 23rd, 2019. Samsung retrieving all Galaxy Fold samples. Samsung Electronics is retrieving all Galaxy Fold samples distributed to reviewers to investigate reports of broken screens a day after it postponed the phone's launch, a person with direct knowledge of the matter said on Tuesday. The retrieval comes as the world's biggest smartphone maker met with embarrassment ahead of the foldable device's US release on April the 26th, with a handful of technology journalists reporting breaks, bulges and blinking screens after a day's use. The South Korean tech giant postponed the headset launch for an unspecified period of time while it investigated the matter. It said initial findings showed the issues could be associated with impact on exposed areas of the hinges. Samsung's share price was 0.4% lower in a flat sole market. However, part supplies fell, with the hinge maker KH Weitek Co. Ltd shedding 3.1%. Though the issue does not hurt Samsung's balance sheet, the postponement damaged the firm's effort to showcase itself as an innovative first mover, not a fast follower, analysts said. Jet Airways waits for a buyer. A revival of Jet Airways India Ltd, once the nation's biggest carrier by market value, is at risk as days roll by since its operations were completely halted. While the cash-strapped carrier waits potential investors to pump in money, rivals are aggressively going after its most prized assets. A government desperate to limit public backlash after flight ticket prices escalated is parceling of landing and parking slots at congested airports. Lessors are also adding to the woes by allocating grounded aircraft to competitors. Jet Airways, the oldest surviving private airline which broke into a monopoly of Air India Ltd, had a fleet of 124 and flew profitable routes like connecting India, the fastest-growing aviation market in the world, with London and Toronto. With nearly 23,000 jobs at stake, it collapsed last week couldn't have come at a worse time for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's seeking a second term based on his business-friendly image. The airline, which controlled 13.6% of the local market as recently as January, needs 85 billion rupees, $1.2 billion, to restart operations. So far, it isn't clear whether Jet Airways will find a buyer to fly again or if lenders will take it to a bankruptcy court. Kim Jong-un will meet with Vladimir Putin. North Korea on Tuesday confirmed that leader Kim Jong-un will soon visit Russia to meet with President Vladimir Putin. The summit will come at a crucial moment of tenuous diplomacy meant to rid the North of its nuclear arsenal, following a recent North Korean weapons test that likely signals Kim's growing frustration with deadlocked negotiations with Washington. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency released a terse two-sentence statement that announced Kim will soon pay a visit to the Russian Federation and that he and Putin will have talks. A date for the meeting was not immediately released, and it wasn't clear if Kim would fly or take his armored train. There are some indications that the meeting will be held in the far eastern port of Vladivostok, not too far from Russia's border with the north. The Kremlin said in a brief statement last week that Kim will visit Russia in the second half of April, but gave no further details. Russia is interested in gaining border access to North Korean mineral resources, including rare metals. Pyongyang covets Russia's electricity supplies and wants to attract Russian investment to modernize its dilapidated industrial plants, railways and other infrastructure. Kim and U.S. President Donald Trump have had two summits, but the latest in Vietnam in February collapsed because North Korea wanted more sanctions relief than Washington was willing to give for the amount for disarmament offered by Pyongyang.